So are Harry and Meghan being snubbed from Hollywood especially? It definitely seems like Harry and Meghan's popularity has gone down quite a bit. And so it's like every day we're hearing something from another celebrity in Hollywood, another one of their friends that, oh no, and it all kind of, I think their spiral sort of started after the catastrophic car chase. And then, of course, everybody was like, what the heck was that? And then they were dropped from Spotify. And then after they were dropped from Spotify, the rumors were like, oh, she's going to be the new face of Dior because she got a new agent. Oh, she's going to be the star in the next Bodyguard movie with Kevin Costner. Oh, they're going to do this and that. And nothing has transpired. And a lot of time has gone by before we've seen or heard of anything that's all new. So the question is, what we're all going to talk about tonight is royal family news and also this aspect of the Beckhams, Posh Spice, and David Beckham, whether or not they're snubbing their previously best friends. So welcome. Hey guys, just let me know where you're from. I see we're from California. We're from all over. It's so good to see you guys again. Please do subscribe to my Hot for History channel where most of the time, we are like putting up videos that are more like history videos. I just put up one about Charlie Chaplin, Madame Curie. So we kind of put up some shorts mainly, but we do like to talk live about the royal family because this is, real life, real news happening in front of us, real history. So let me see where you guys are from. From Hawaii, I love it there. From the Philippines, welcome. St. Louis, I hope you're trying to stay cool there. It's been hot in the Midwest for sure. So let's get into this a little bit. And just for those of you who are new to this channel, please know that we are really into sort of this interactive thing. Ask questions, and many times I will post your questions and comment on them. And if you hear a train in the background, I apologize. Welcome from Michigan. I love going to Michigan in the summertime. Why? Because in the Upper Peninsula especially, it's so cool. It's just the perfect weather in Michigan in the summer, as well as in Toronto. I don't know about Montreal. Hi from Idaho. Love it there too. Marion says it all started when she whined for 2 hours on Oprah. She wants to make it about race when she is just a jerk. I think it did start back then. I mean, obviously when they were leaving and they were complaining about all the leaks and everything, but definitely the Oprah interview. And then from there, but I really think in the last couple of months, it's been a little crazy. So we're going to kind of unpack a little bit of this and see. Guys, let me know your thoughts. Welcome from Naples, Florida, from Alabama. Okay, so David Beckham, Posh Spice and the famous David Beckham, who everybody knows because of his famous soccer career, right? Or his football career, as most of you in the UK would say. So they're saying that they were longtime friends, but now the Beckhams are ticked off. Why are they ticked off? Because apparently they were accused of being the ones that were leaking sources about the Sussexes. And it says now their friendship is over, according to an anonymous insider. When we hear anonymous insider, it could be anybody. That could be us. So we have to take this news like anything, like I was mentioning about history. Like we just don't know what's really real. So we're just talking about it because it's partially entertainment. And we're fascinated. Those of us who are on here are fascinated. Okay, so their friendships is over. The source told the Mail on Sunday that David is absolutely bloody furious. He is furious after accusations supposedly flew during a tense phone call between the couples. Because I will say the one thing that I've noticed about the Beckhams, like they're not really the type to be leaking stuff. They're pretty private. They've done extremely well for themselves, but they're not chatty into the media. They just don't. They're not. They're very classy in that regard. And then it says any making up now is so unlikely. The Beckhams were present at the royal pair's wedding in 2018 and were very supportive of Meghan's arrival in the UK, the source says. In the wake of their fallout, Meghan has seemingly replaced Victoria with another. So Meghan has a lot of support. She has this woman, Victoria Jackson, who's a cosmetic magnate. Another one of the couple's neighbors, and she hangs out with Ari Emanuel, who's like their agent. And then there's other people that live near near them, I guess. So there, she's friends with her former Suit stars, and then also hairstylist Amanda Leone. So they have support. They have a supportive, group of people, but the support in general, generally in Hollywood, is not so good. For example, recently, I don't know the whole story about Gavin Newsom, but apparently Gavin Newsom, like William, like now just try to follow this. So William is going to have the Earthshot preliminary awards, like the nominations happening in New York. And then in Singapore, they're going to have the Earthshot awards where Kate will join them. So it's a big deal. It's all about, healthy environment and all of that. So many people are basically saying, hey, I don't want to have anything to do with Harry and Meghan if I want to still be on the good side of William and Kate. And even Katy Perry, who's a neighbor of Harry and Meghan's, is trying to not quite be as friendly, apparently. Word on the street. Okay. And then this is what Lola says. Beckham's will side with William and the royals. Beckham is wanting a knighthood. See, and honestly, even the Spice Girls have been like Charles's, like they've been tight for a long time. Not that not that Victoria was so involved in, I don't know, a lot of the PR or whatever, but I would think that would be the case, Lola. So there we go. Okay, so let's talk about, so that was that article. And again, we just take it with a grain of sand, but we're watching things unfold. So Bethany Frankel, I think she made a really good point. It sounds like she's bashing them totally, but the truth is in this article in the Independent, what she's saying is true. It's like, how did their PR people botch everything up? How do you come to Hollywood, and have everything handed to you on a silver platter and botch it up? And so I think that is true. And I think it makes a good point. Like, where was their support team? Because they could have hit a home run. Well, okay. So Liz, yes, there seems to be some snubbery, some spicy snubs from the Beckhams and a lot of people in Hollywood. But they also do have their support. People are people, so why should it be people support? Are you so awfully? It's all in. Yes, everything. This, the good news, the bad news. It's all little pieces of truth and lies mixed together. It is. I am very well aware of that. And I'm aware of that in history too, because I just posted something like, you can have one piece of history that you talk about for 1 minute. It's not going to give you the whole picture. There's always another side. So we're reading articles that are coming out and we're going to talk about it. But yes, keep that in perspective, that what we know is only in part. And it's because people are trying to make money on media, but we're going to pack it away anyhow. Okay, so good evening, Stephen. Good to see you. I hope you're surviving the crazy weather in Illinois. We had some storms last night. Okay, so let's talk about this. Now, this is interesting to me. If you guys have anything to include here, I'm really fascinated by the fact that they were invited to apparently Balmoral. And Harry, in his book, Spare, describes it as one of his most lovely places, that he always loved going there, that it was just like an amazing experience for him. I think he did say that he's had some negative experiences too, but so much of his life was centered around this Balmoral experience. And apparently he was invited by the king. So I want you guys to let me know your thoughts. When is he going to end up basically saying, hey, come on, I'm going to try to at least make amends and show up at one of these invites, because at some point they need to have a conversation, even if it's a knockdown, drag out, shouting match. They need to get face to face, because in my opinion, like, it's family, right? So I just don't know how many of these olive branches can go out to them and they continue to say, no, no, by the way, you're not going to see your grandchildren. I just don't know. And apparently they say that Charles is the only one that will still communicate to Harry. Now, there was also a rumor that says, hey, they will not talk to, like, William and Charles will not talk to Harry in private unless there's, like, I don't know, other people around. So what do you guys think? Charles will never give up on Harry. Yeah, I mean, he's a dad. He's a dad, so why would he? I agree with you. It's like, I think that he will always be wanting that, but that's part of that is sort of the tragic side of this, Shakespearean thing that we're seeing is that there's this king who has everything except he doesn't. He doesn't have his what does he want? He wants his sons together working with him. He wants his grandchildren. That seems to be at the heart of everything. Like he really wants to be connecting with his grandchildren. So it's like a Shakespearean play. You have all of this stuff, but then there's that, right? So sad, too complicated to bring kids. This just is a continuation of the rejection of family, and it's really sad. Yeah, and like I said, it goes to show that you can be the king of the world. You can have everything. You can have all the money. Like he's trying to give money back, and he still makes money, right? So, and yet you don't have your son. You don't have your son and his wife and the grandchildren coming to the summer vacations. They do this one big family portrait with all of the grandkids and all. Now it'll be like the Queen's great grandchildren. They do that in Balmoral every single year. And then they use those photos for, holiday cards and stuff like that. So it's a bit sad in my opinion, but it's kind of where they're at. So that's what's going on. He extended an invite, and I think in the article, basically what it said was they're not expecting them to react, and they haven't heard anything. They haven't heard an acceptance or a denial, but they're not expecting them to come. So somewhat sad. Okay, so then there is Harry's continuing lawsuits with the media. So this last one, he kind of won one and lost one. What did he lose? He lost the ability to bring up phone hacking charges, but he can still look into the fact because he wants to prove that the media acted illegally. So they can look at like, okay, were they blagging? Were they trying to coerce people that in their circle to know things and tell them, therefore, right? So he still has a case, but his big phone hacking thing, that's gone. That's thrown out. Okay, so let's look at some of your comments. Liz, let me see what you have to say. Meghan has turned Harry nearly as toxic as she is. You honestly don't want my opinion, LOL. Heavily laden with sarcasm. Yeah. But here's what I think, because I thought that too, Liz, but I guess we do get influenced obviously by our spouses, but at the end of the day, if Harry could stand up to a lot of things, and he's just not. He's like the Pillsbury Doughboy. He's very easily malleable, that's the sad part is that, it's easy to blame Meghan a lot because I'm not a huge fan of hers, but at the same time, there's a part of me that totally understands. She's just trying to make it, and do what she can. She has very much that American spirit of, okay, let's build this and build that. I mean, it's relentless. I mean, it doesn't seem like she's very sensitive at all to family or anything like that, but he also could stand his ground and say, this is my heritage. This is what I'm doing, rather than continue to give into the negative. So I think what we discovered with Harry through the season of him being married to Meghan is that he was a lot more negative than we always thought. We just thought he was fun and kind of wild, so anyhow. Okay. And then Julie, there's so much. Good evening, Deborah. How are you? So I don't think those are Charles's grandchildren. There's all of these rumors because we've hardly seen them as to whether, did they have surrogates? Did they, what was the deal? So there's all of these, I don't know, thoughts going around. I will say though, when I saw the Oprah interview, I personally thought that she definitely looked, pregnant in her face too. So I don't know. I hear all of these things, but they seem so far-fetched. But at the same time, there's so many far-fetched things that are becoming true. Like, guys, like America announced that there's aliens, and I love the TikTok and YouTube videos where they're like, we didn't even respond. We didn't even respond. It's like, okay, yeah, we all knew that there were aliens anyhow. So like, you know, whatever. We're kind of like, is that actually a child that's their kid or not? Like, I don't know. Okay, Stephen, that is why I have zero respect for Harry and his wife. They could visit, be kind, and share family time out of the limelight and just maybe start down the road. Exactly. And not only that, let's just talk. How many of us have had to go to family reunions where it's like, okay, they call it a plug and chug. You're just going to like have the party, deal with it, and move on. Like, that is, families do that everywhere. Just, make nice. Like, make nice. Okay, so who do you think will get the kids when they get divorced? My bet is on Harry because the royals have unlimited money. I don't know. I think Meghan will get a really good settlement and she'll probably end up with the kids. That would be my guess. I think that it's possible she's reluctant to go over to the UK with the kids because of this archaic law that I don't think they would ever apply that says that the monarch has full custody of those children. So if she goes, so the people who are more like, oh, this is going to happen, they'll say the reason that she's not going is because, the king is going to like take the kids. I don't think that would ever happen, but there is still a law on the books that allows for that. So I would be a little afraid of that if I was Meghan, but I don't think that it's just sad all the way around. And then the other thing regarding a potential divorce, it kind of ebbs and flows. Like we hear it, we don't. Many people are saying even if that happened, it wouldn't happen until after Harry's 40 because he gets this whole inheritance thing. But Princess Anne is in control of that. And she's saying, hey, she might change the age, or there's certain rules where like if they got divorced, like either he should get divorced before he turns 40, or if they get a divorce after he's 40, there are still these rules that she can't touch that money. So everybody's speculating because you hear little pieces. So let me see what Lola has to say. Balmoral is a wonderful place for children of all ages. Well, and he was saying that, like he had a great time living there, or being there. Remember how Lewis reportedly said, can we still have games at Balmoral after the Queen passed? Oh, no, I didn't remember that. Oh, I love him. He is so cute. I truly think Harry I truly think Harry with stories of being off the Montecito reservation is allegedly on drug and alcohol binges. Well, and then we heard that he even went to the hospital. So so there could be, I mean, certainly some of this behavior does seem like he's either really off or there's some substance abuse. But anyhow, we're just, again, speculating. Absolutely, on the family struggles, a common thing. California is a community property state, so not based on fault. Yeah, so there you go. Okay, so we've got a couple of other little news things that I thought might be good prompts. Now, do you guys believe this one, that they might want to return? And those of you here on my on this live from the UK, because most of the time when the people are on here from the UK, there's no chance, and you know what? It's just not going to happen. I just can't imagine. And a lot of critics are like, I cannot imagine, like, what would that even look like? Them coming back into the royal fold. They've burned so many bridges. It's got to be something ridiculous or dramatic. I think they could accept Harry if there was a divorce, but I don't think I think he would even have to like lay low or whatever. But I don't know. I just don't think that would happen. Okay, so this is the big thing that I wanted to sort of talk about, because I found this really interesting. So just follow me here. This article basically does this whole like, let's time hop into a different reality. In other words, if Harry had decided, and like the palace had an opportunity to move them into Africa, like everybody who knows him personally, not as a couple, says that he would have thrived had he left the military and just gone to Africa and do some work and then come back. You know, he can come back or whatever, but do a lot of work in Africa because that was his thing. So this article that's out is basically saying, you know, palace insiders are saying that they blew it because they could have stopped all of this from happening simply by agreeing to have Harry and Meghan do their work in Africa, or maybe Harry mainly. And what would that have looked like then? It would have been very different than, I'm getting the heck out of here because you made me go around to the walkabouts here all over the UK and in the Commonwealth. And we could have just been doing this in Africa, and therefore we could have stayed there. Like, so basically what it's saying is that they should have had them go to Africa, gotten a taste of that, or Harry at least go. And things would have been different. They may not have had their eyes on Hollywood. Therefore, they wouldn't have done a million different things and caved to every single offer that's given to them. So that was sort of that, you know, that premise. I don't know what do you guys think of that? Do you think that that's a legitimate, I don't know, perspective? Of course, it's only thinking, wow, what if they had gone to Africa? If they had gone to Africa, this, you know, this could have cleaned everything up and they would have been in much better shape. I mean, I think so. Obviously, it's a much simpler lifestyle. It's something that you're serving and giving back. It's hard for the most well-adjusted person to go out to Hollywood and then get entrenched in the hype and the money and the whole entertainment thing in Hollywood and then come out with your head straight, let alone people who are already struggling with basically being estranged from their background with the royal family and their families from both sides. So I think that them trying to avoid this awful collapse and basically ruin in many ways that may possibly be coming, you know, it maybe it could have been avoided, but so that's what they're saying. I thought the Queen had forbidden Meghan's entry into the UK. Well, she did. She came back for the funeral. Are you talking about the Queen Camilla? She came back for the funeral, and then that was it, right? We haven't seen her at that. Meghan would never. Jude, specify if you're talking about Queen Camilla or something else, so that I can, you know, follow. Meghan would not be satisfied in Africa. No, maybe for a date, for her second or third date, but yeah, she fakes Africa. She only wants glamour and 20,000 purses. Yeah, Meghan has no. Okay, well, we've got a consensus here. The family thing is very sad to me on both sides. Her dad and his dad. Again, a king, and then you have somebody who was in the entertainment business, basically a self-employed, self-made man who worked his butt off to get where he is, and a king. And then you have the family who's holding out on them the most precious desire of those men, of the hearts of those men. Oh gosh. Sorry, guys. You know what I mean? In other words, both of these men, these families, they want to be able to connect with Meghan and Harry and their grandchildren. And they're not getting any of that. And that makes me sad. Not Camilla. Okay, so Queen, did you guys hear this too about Queen Elizabeth wanting to, like, not letting her come back into the country? I mean, she came back for the funeral, so I don't know, Jude. I don't know. I'll have to kind of work on that. If that's the case, I had never heard that because everybody's talking about them maybe coming back, but who knows? So anyhow, that's kind of an overview of tonight. I just wanted to sort of, I don't know, I was feeling like this whole thing with these estranged, you know, the friends, like not staying connected, like, it's such a theme with them. Like their relationships don't seem to be these long lasting relationships. Even Harry's best friends, he hasn't gone to the people that he had as his, I don't know, as I guess the godfathers of his children. He doesn't even go to their weddings. So it's very sad because there's like a, a distance. And based on what Steven said, when you said something about drinking or the substance aspect, that would also make me think that what you're saying is true, because whether it's either narcissism or some kind of addiction or something going on where you don't want to be too close because you don't want people to really see your tell. Like, in other words, people that know you well can tell if you're back doing something or not. So it's hard to say whether this estrangement, the self inflicted estrangement, is out of, them just wanting to stay away, or if there's something that they don't want them to know. I truly wonder what the core issue is with them. Money, power. I've never heard about banishment. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. And you know what? The king, I mean, it's been something to watch. It's really been something to watch, to see them so accepted and invited. It's like the king is like the king. I mean, I'm not getting religious on it, but it is like that story in the Bible where it's like, welcome home to the prodigal son. I mean, he's literally welcome home. Like, I mean, Charles has a temper. We've seen it, right? But apparently with Harry, he's still like, welcome home. He called his wife an evil stepmother. I mean, or that evil woman, something like that. It's crazy. In Africa, no one would listen to her whine about being discriminated against. Yes, I know. I know. I get it. Yes, you push family away on the bottle or pill. Yes, you keep them at a distance. So part of what you're saying, I'm like, let's just keep our eyes open. Let's see. Let's see. But I just wanted to kind of come on here and chat about that. We will see what we have next, but I appreciate you guys. Please do subscribe. Please share this video. Think about this. Let me know, like, because the news, it just seems a little sad. I mean, a lot of these royal watchers and journalists, they definitely are like standing in full confidence that they're on their way out. But the truth is that they can make a comeback both in Hollywood, like something amazing could happen. I believe there's redemption somewhere, and we will have to see that. But personally, I don't know how a marriage could survive all that they have had to go through. Granted, it's based on their own choices and stuff, but it has been a lot of stress and a lot of pressure in the short amount of time that they've been married. So it is what it is. All right. Thank you guys, and we will talk to you soon. Bye.